Well, good morning. Welcome to Suffolk Business Today. We're here this very early morning at the Egg Bistro, where we've come to dine in some of the finest cuisine you'll find in all of Hampton Roads. And as you can tell, we have more than enough to share with you if you had an opportunity to join us this morning. But oftentimes as we dine at, whether it be for breakfast or for lunch at our favorite restaurant here in Suffolk or anywhere across the Hampton Roads area, have you ever wondered just where all of the wonderful food comes from? And I say, of course, it comes from a farm or from gardens and places of that nature, but what about how it actually gets into the restaurant in the first place? Who brings the food there? How in the world do they provide food in such a large quantity for the hundreds of people that they serve every day? Well, in today's show, we're going to talk to you about that, but I just wanted to get an introduction into just how that happens, and so we got up at the wee hours of the morning this morning to try to find out, take a closer look to see just how breakfast was delivered today. Well, good morning to our Suffolk Business Today audience. It's a very early morning. In fact, it was even earlier for my associate here, Junior Holly, with Reinhart Foodservice. Now, Junior, the sun's just barely coming up as you've arrived here at the Egg Bistro to deliver what I hope will soon be my breakfast. What time did you have to get started today?
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Is that a standard start for your day?
Standard start.
And so Egg Bistro's on your delivery today, and I know that while we were at your facility, we happened to see a truck coming in. One of the trucks was coming in, you said, from what location?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
So that was coming in to get loaded up for another delivery, or?
Yes, you get loaded up again.
Okay. And then I think we saw a truck or two so that were going out for Suffolk delivery as well. So you've got this special order for Egg Bistro, and this is one that's going to, I guess, ideally carry them throughout today.
Yes, it will.
Right. Now, how long have you been working with Reinhart?
20 years.
20 years, you say. Quite a long time, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and bringing food not only to places like here in Suffolk with the Egg Bistro, but I imagine across Hampton Roads and up and down the East Coast.
Yes.
Well, that is great. Well, we're going to let you get to work because I'm anxious to find out what's on that truck to see what we're going to have for breakfast this morning. now you have a better understanding of what it takes to put a wonderful menu together like this, not only at a place like the Egg Bistro here in Suffolk, but at restaurants across Hampton Roads and really much of the East Coast. Well, we're going to learn more in today's show about how a company like Reinhart Food Services brings all of this together 6 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year for restaurants across the country. And it all happens right in here in Suffolk. So while we take a break and I get a chance to enjoy a little bit more of my breakfast, we'll ask you to stay with us, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Suffolk Business Today, where for today's show, we're going to give you an opportunity to experience what many people call an aha moment. Now, if you've never experienced an aha moment, then I'm going to ask you to indulge me for just a few minutes with your imagination. And if you will, and if you need to, close your eyes, but don't fall asleep on me. But imagine that you're at one of your favorite restaurants here in Suffolk or Hampton Roads, or for that matter, it could be just about anywhere in the United States. And it could be for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It doesn't matter. You've just placed your order. Your servers submitted that order so it can be prepared in the kitchen, and you're waiting for the order to be delivered. And of course, it's being prepared in the kitchen for, where else would it come from? Well, where it comes from, the food that is, that's what we're here to talk about for today's show. And I'm here today with Mr. John Ehalt, President of the Tidewater Division of Reinhart Food Services, who's going to tell you a little bit about just where all that food comes from. Well, John, thank you very much for allowing us to come into your facility today and have an opportunity to talk about what it is you do. Now, you've heard me tease our audience about their food and imagining. Hopefully, you've opened your eyes now. They've opened their eyes and they've got this wonderful meal before them. Tell us about some of the types of food that your operation here provides, and we'll tell them a little bit more about just who you are in a moment.
Well, good morning, Greg, and thank you for coming out here to visit with us today, and for giving us the opportunity to tell you as well as the community about our business here at Reinhart Food Service. And the types of food that we carry are products that you would have at a restaurant. It could be a fine dining white tablecloth restaurant. It could be a casual cafe. It could be a breakfast restaurant. It could be a pizza eatery. And what we do as an organization is supply the products that a restaurant would use in their operation every day.
Wonderful. Well, tell us now a little bit more about just who Reinhart really is. We're here in Suffolk in Rural Industrial Park, by the way. Tell us about how long you've been here and just a little bit about how you got started.
Oh my gosh, Reinhart has been around for quite some time. The organization itself is a national organization, and our roots started in a town called La Crosse, Wisconsin, by Reinhart, who was our founding father. We are owned by Reinhart Food Service, who is owned by Ray's Holdings, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, our local organization started in 1973 and was founded by a gentleman by the name of Jesse Dilday. And Jesse started a company called Supreme Foods. And for those people in the business here locally would recognize that name as Supreme Food Service. And that company was purchased by Reinhart in 2008 and is now known as Reinhart Food Service.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we talked in general about the types of food you serve, whether it be for a pizzeria or a fine dining establishment, but tell us more specifically about what it is you do here in Wilroy Industrial Park at your Reinhart facility.
Well, it's very interesting, and it's a very interesting business. I have personally been in the industry for my entire career, and one of the things that people like to do as a form of entertainment is to go out to eat. So it's been fun to be engaged in that industry. And so what we do here locally specifically is we carry thousands of products in our warehouse. And logistically, it can be a challenge. We bring in products from all over the world. We handle dairy products, we handle fresh seafood, we handle produce, we handle meats to include beef and pork and lamb and veal. We carry dry goods, we carry frozen products, we carry pork products, bacon and sausage and flour and sugar. And if you've been out to a restaurant and you've had a really fancy dessert, there's a good chance that it could have come from Reinhart Foodservice.
Well, now I said earlier that, of course, you could be dining at a Suffolk restaurant or possibly somewhere here in the Hampton Roads area, but tell me about your reach from this facility. About what's your area of coverage for Reinhart Foods?
Well, Reinhart Foodservice covers the eastern half of the United States, and we have 33 different locations throughout the country, and we're a growing organization. Here locally, out from this distribution center in Suffolk, Virginia, we handle and distribute products into the Hampton Roads marketplace 6 days a week. We cover Richmond, Virginia, and Northern Virginia and other parts of Virginia 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And we also send trucks into North Carolina 5 days a week to include, everybody's familiar with the Outer Banks, sure. Raleigh, North Carolina, and out as far as Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Monday through Friday. So
that is fantastic. That's quite an area.
It's a pretty large area, and there's just huge opportunity available for us in that marketplace.
Well, John, tell us about some of the customers that you provide your products to, and I understand there are some events, special events that you participate in as well. So tell us about those too.
We're so proud to be able to service the customers that we have, Greg, and I wish that we had the opportunity to mention all of them. There's thousands of customers that we service in the market area that we cover, but I'll mention a few names that I think that most of our local citizens would recognize, such as Why Not Italian Restaurants, the Cinema Cafes, Egg Bistros, where you had your great meal and breakfast.
Yes,
service,
indeed.
by Egg Bistro, a very nice customer. Feather and Fin has been around a long time. I believe that most of our residents have been to a Plaza Azteca restaurant at some point, or a Cal's Pizza. A neat account that we have at the oceanfront that we do business with is Catch 31. We do business with places like Mahi Ma's, Chanello's Pizza, County Grill over on the peninsula. There's an account in Virginia Beach that has multiple locations called Chicho's. There was a Tilt to Kilt that just opened up here locally as well. I think one that's been around for a long time is Philly Style Steaks. Some of the events that we handle, last year we had the opportunity through one of our long-term customers, Pollard's Chicken. They were catering an event on an aircraft carrier, the Truman.
Is that right?
And we were able to, so it was a family day, so we had the opportunity to supply the food, and it was real neat because the Navy actually picked our entire tractor trailer up and put the whole tractor trailer onto the aircraft carrier. We had some real neat photography from that. Right now we're working here locally with the fellows that put on the Peanut Festival and the Shrimp Fest, Shrimp Feast. We work here locally in Suffolk with an organization that raises money for the Wounded Warriors Foundation, and I think that the local citizens would also recognize or have been to the Greek Festival in downtown Norfolk, and we're honored to be able to provide the food for that event as well.
You know, that's great. You know, there's lots of great food that you provide, but we all know that none of this is possible without good employees. So let's talk for a few minutes about the people that really make this happen for us, John, if you will.
That is the heartbeat of the organization, are our teammates, and I have been very fortunate to work with some of the best associates and employees in the industry, Greg. I am so proud of the team of people that we have here in this company. We have just great tenure with our associates. Many of the employees that we have came with us in the acquisition of Supreme Foods. Reinhart also purchased a company that had been in the marketplace for quite some time called Valley Foodservice. And we also have a number of associates that have come from Valley Foodservice as well. And you know, I feel like one of the things that separates us from others in the industry is the quality of the individual and the dedication and the persistence of the associates that we have in this great company here at Reinhart Foodservice. We had the opportunity to have an employee meeting in March. It was supposed to be in February, but because of the tough winter that we had this year, our employee meeting got pushed back a month, and we had it here locally at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Suffolk. And you know, for me as the leader of the organization, it's one of my favorite days of the year, Greg. It gives us the opportunity to recognize the successes that the company's had, but that success from the company has come as a result of the individual performances of every one of the employees that works here at Reinhart Foodservice. That is the true measure of the success that we have as the organization. And I believe that, and we believe as an organization, that as a result of that dedication and hard work, it has enabled us to double the size of this organization in the past 4 years.
Well, speaking of which, about how many employees do you have?
We have currently about 130 associates in the organization. It would be our goal to push that number up over the next several years as we continue to grow this business at a double-digit pace year in and year out.
Wow. So what about some of the skill sets? I know that they're not preparing the food here, but you know, tell us some of the things that your employees are doing here, because I understand you may have some job opportunities for folks, and they may want to know what some of those opportunities might be here.
We do, and if someone were interested in looking at Reinhart Foodservice as a potential employer, we have a website. It's RFS for Reinhart Foodservice, RFS Hires, and that would be the place to go to look for employment opportunities. We, as an organization, you know, we first are really a sales company. What we do is we go out and we sell. Okay, so one of the skill sets that we have is our sales and marketing team. We have sales representatives here locally in Hampton Roads. We have them in Richmond, Northern Virginia, Raleigh, the Outer Banks, Winston-Salem. In addition, we are there's a lot of technology used in our business. Imagine thousands of products coming in and out of this building on a daily basis, and the logistics that go behind making sure that the seafood is fresh, the produce is fresh and in good, safe order, consumable for the consumer. You know, dry goods, canned goods, frozen products. So logistically, we are very, you know, have a very heavy technology behind our organization. So as an example of that, in our warehouse, we use it's wireless in the warehouse, and when our selectors at nighttime, those people that actually pull the product and make sure that it gets on the truck in the correct order, we use voice technology. So they wear a voice box, and that voice box goes, it's a headset, and it tells them where to go and what to select. During the day, we have all of our forklifts are set with scanners, and they tell the associates where to take that product. So from a technology standpoint, it's pretty sophisticated. So, you know, we're a warehouse operation, we're a transportation operation. So we have delivery associates that take our tractors and trailers out to deliver to the customers daily. And then, of course, we have our internal support staff of customer service and accounting functions and our purchasing functions within the organization.
Wow, that's quite a few opportunities for folks, and you're going to be hiring and expanding here over the years coming. And of course, we here in Suffolk look forward to your expansion opportunities. So I know you've agreed that we're going to take a break in a few minutes, and Following that break, we're going to take a tour of your facility. But with that, any final thoughts that you might want to share with our viewing audience that really makes Reinhart unique?
Yes, there are, Greg. And we discuss that within the organization on a fairly consistent basis. We feel like one of the key advantages that we have at Reinhart Foodservice is that we are an independently owned corporation from Ray's Holdings. It is a family-owned organization, and they give us the opportunity, they give our team here the opportunity to make our decisions here locally based on what the marketplace needs. And so we feel as though we are a very nimble organization, able to control our own destiny and make our decisions here locally, even though we have Ray's Holdings, which is a $23 billion independently owned organization. It's one of the largest independently owned, family-owned organizations in America.
Well, that is.
And so it gives us those
great.
resources,
Yes.
and it gives us the opportunity to run our business here locally. We also believe that one of our key advantages is a program that we have that our customers use called Trax Direct. Trax Direct is not only an order entry system, but it's a program designed to help our customers manage and run their business, determine their food costs and recipes, and manage their business. And it's known within the industry to be the best program that's available in the industry from any distributor that's in the business.
Well, fantastic. Well, John, we're going to take a break here in just a moment and let our audience possibly get another refreshment while they're waiting. But when we come back, we're going to take a tour of our facility here at Reinhart Foodservice. Again, I tell you, we're in Wilroy Industrial Park, and we look forward to you joining us here in just a few moments. Welcome back to Suffolk Business Today. We're still here at Reinhart Foodservice, but now in the refrigerated section, and it feels mighty comfortable here this warm day we're having. But I'm here with Jason Baines, the warehouse manager for one of the many warehouse managers here for Reinhart Foodservice. And Jason, tell us about where are we and what do you have here in this particular space?
Yes, sir. What we do here in this receiving dock is we receive all refrigerated and frozen freight here. Then we inspect it for quality assurance to verify that the products are good and wholesome for consumption. Then we take them back to our storage, whether it's frozen or refrigerated. We store it in the right temperature environment.
Okay, well, some of the products you have here, what do they include?
Yes, sir. We're looking up here and we can see onions. We have potatoes. This is just for our 40, 50 degree produce commodities.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, now where do you want to take us next? I see that we've got some folks moving in from behind us here. What do you have behind us?
Well, behind us what we have is a refrigerated cooler. It's a 35 degrees in that cooler. Then we have a beef cooler as well, which is 28 degrees.
So where do you want to take us next?
Let's walk this direction. We can watch some receiving taking place.
Okay.
Right here we can see where we've had quite a few produce deliveries taking place this morning. Deliveries come in. We have a quality assurance personnel who goes through every case of produce to verify it's wholesome.
Okay, and it's coming from this this is one of your trucks here? So
yes, sir. This is a receiving truck that we have right here, and we unload this whole entire truck. We make sure that all the product is in good consumption.
So we're watching a lot of operations here. What am I looking at, Jason?
Well, what we're watching right now is we have one of our tenured employees who's been here quite a while. He's unloading our produce. Some of our exclusive brands, mark-on products right here, coming from the West Coast. They actually come from California. They come over to New Jersey, then they're cross-docked, and they come straight to us. So he's sorting and segregating these products. He's taking temperatures on these products and making sure these products are of good quality. So that's what we're watching right now.
So tell me, what are some of the products you have here?
Well, some of the products that we received this morning are tomatoes and cucumbers and limes and such. For an example, right here is a case of oregano. Okay. We have different pack sizes of tomatoes. We have Romas, 5x6, 6x6 tomatoes, 5-pound tomatoes. and a lot of numerous different pack sizes of produce items.
Great. And I hear the horns in the background, and I happen to look up and I noticed that you've got a lot of safety signs up here. Can you tell us about what some of these safety signs represent?
Yes, sir, certainly. We're very safety driven here at Reinhart Foodservice, Tidewater Division. Safety is everyone's #1 job. Our secondary job is to move freight. So we have actually 2 employees I'd like to recognize. We have Christopher Lee, who has gone 380,000 cases without any kind of errors.
380,000
Yes,
cases.
sir. Then we have
no mistakes.
That's correct, no mistakes.
My goodness.
He's
That's
the man,
quite a
yes,
few.
sir.
Okay.
Then we also have another employee who's gone 220,000 without any mistakes as well. So,
Oh my goodness.
and in our industry, that's very unheard of. So we have 2 very high asset employees with us.
Well, that's great. Well, I guess next we're going to go into the dry service area?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, show me the way. Well, great. We're in the dry warehouse section, and I see we were talking about safety earlier. What's this banner represent here?
Yes, sir. This is our safety culture banner for Reinhart Foodservice, and safety delivers is the main message that we want to pose to employees. And we've actually gone previously in 2011 to 2013. We went 1,266 days without a lost time accident. Again, in the industry, that's 3.5 years that we went, and in the industry, that's again unheard of. So we're very proud of that, and we instill that with new hires as we bring new hires in, and we're just very excited about that. So in that time frame, we also shipped, received, shipped, and then also delivered 24.8 million cases in that time frame.
24.8 million
Yes, sir.
cases.
24.8 million, yes, sir.
That's
a number
quite a
we're very
record.
proud of, yes, sir.
I could understand why. That's fantastic. So, dry storage. I'm thinking, what? Cans and canned goods. You tell us.
Yes, sir. What takes place over here is we receive dry goods. We inspect them as well, just like we did on the cold dock that I showed. And then we transport those into our storage area, and you do see quite a few canned goods over here. You have green beans, tomato sauce, beans, etc. So we have quite a few different items in here. We have a lot of branded items that are Reinhart specific items.
Okay.
That we try to get on board with our customers.
Now, do I see, what is that, flour or what?
Yes, sir. This division is founded on a pizza delivery service, so so we have a lot of pizza sauces as such, and we have a lot of pizza boxes, and yes, flour as you see at the end of the aisle.
That's great. Well, Jason, we're now in the cooler room, as I understand, and what's the temperature in here?
35 degrees in here, sir.
30. That's cool enough, indeed. Well, tell us about your products at your store at 35 degrees.
So some of the commodities that we have in this particular aisle are our produce items. We get produce 7 days a week to ensure freshness. Right here you can see we have 50-pound carrots. We have Marcon, again, this is one of our exclusive brands for produce. We have cut vegetables there. Over here we have some Good Roots product. And then we have 50-pound cucumbers. We have small pack cucumbers. A lot of our different lettuce and lemon and citrus are down this aisle here.
Understood. And with these, so about how long does your product really stay in this cool space, would you say? Typically?
Well, this product will come in. Today, and it'll be out of our building within 4 days. So it turns in about every 4 days on produce.
Well, that's pretty fresh. And where's it coming from?
Some of this product's coming from New Jersey up north, and then some of this product's actually coming from the West Coast. It's actually coming from California.
Great, great. Now, Anthony, you tell us a little bit about some of the marketing that you do and your products as well.
Well, the thing that sets Reinhart apart are our brands that we talked about a little bit before, and Jason had pointed out some of the Good Roots, some of the Marcon products, so we get some custom items. You're not going to find those anywhere except through us at Reinhart. And those are the products that, again, really set us apart out there. We take pride in the brands that we sell. You're only going to get them through us. We procure these products, as Jason said, all across the country. They're very particular as far as the quality of these products go. The specs are set for each one of these items to make sure that the customer gets what the customer expects to get out there. So we're real proud of our brands that we sell through the warehouse here.
That's great.
Now let's take a look at the trucks that deliver your product outside your facility.
And Anthony, we've had a chance to tour the inside of your facility, but that's great, you know, where the products are stored, but they still got to get to their destination point. So tell us about your trucks, your fleet here, if you will.
That's correct, Greg. This is one of our trucks that we run out of here. We run about 22, 23 of these every single day out of this facility. Wow. and 2-zone trucks. We keep frozen products in here. We keep refrigerated products in the truck and also dry. So we deliver everything dry, frozen, refrigerated on the same truck.
Well, that makes it convenient. Again, and then what size truck is this? It's
a 53-footer. This is a large truck that we have. We have about 3 different size trucks depending on the region that we're delivering for that particular day.
Great. And I see you have your logo obviously on the back of your truck. And what's all that say? I can't read it all too well from here.
That's wherever we deliver, you're going to want to get a table. That's for certain.
Absolutely.
And a lot of our trucks have other sayings on it as well. You'll see this one particular to this truck, and just little taglines to let people know who we are out there. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, as you saw in the warehouse, but getting the product to the people is what's important. Our trucks that run out there to get the product on time, every time, the right products, and of course that's why we're Reinhart Foods, because you're going to get it right from us.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, I certainly want to thank you for the opportunity to tour your wonderful facility here. Do you have any final comments you want to share with our viewing audience before we wrap up today's show?
Yes, I'd just like to say that we strive here at Reinhart Foodservice Tidewater Division in the Suffolk market, that we strive to hit that tagline, which is get it right from us. So we just want to instill the confidence in all of our customers that you will get the right product from us, and we will strive to do so.
Well, thank you again, Jason. And this concludes this edition of Suffolk Business Today. We want to thank you for the opportunity to bring our show to you and remind you before we go, love local, buy Suffolk.